Pray I speak to you this morning in the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Remember, as a child, we used to always make jokes about my father's penchant for always finding a shortcut on our way home from dinners or events in the car. He was famous for his shortcuts. I remember one time when I was about 8 or 9 years old, we were on our way home one night, and Dad decided to take one of his famous shortcuts. So we turned left, we went around a curve, and then we turned right, and then we turned left again, and it was dark, and it was hard to see. And at one point he said, "I think we're back on the main road any second," and we turned another left and turned another right, and ended up with our headlights staring into a cornfield. And that was pretty much how it always worked out with Dad's shortcuts, getting stuck somewhere. But the thing about getting stuck is, when we get stuck, we really start to pay attention, don't we? It's like, wow, I gotta get out of this somehow. It wakes us up. At one point in his ministry, Jesus was in the area of Judea, and he had been there preaching and teaching, and word came to him that the Pharisees were hearing that he was getting to more people than they certainly were, and the Pharisees were concerned about all the excitement that was being stirred up. So Jesus decided that he would take a shortcut, and he went back up to the area of Galilee. See, most Jews didn't really like traveling through that area because they would have to travel through this place called Samaria, and sometimes that was a little shorter, but it's not the place that they always wanted to go. And the thing is about this story, about Jesus going to Samaria and stopping at the well and talking to this woman, is quite an amazing story. And I've said oftentimes, you've heard me say it, that if the gospel doesn't shock you or make you take notice or wake you up, then perhaps you're reading it wrong. Because when we take a look at this gospel story of Jesus, it is fascinating and shocking. We must take note that Jews never spoke to Samaritans. Yet Jesus is speaking to one. We are to note that Jesus is speaking to a woman. And in the Jewish culture of the time, men did not sit and talk to women. And thirdly, when the disciples found Jesus, he was sitting talking to a Samaritan and a woman, and the two of them were alone. And that in itself, in that early context, was certainly a bit of a shock. And it's a shock to us because I think John the Gospel writer wants us to pay attention to this story. This is a big one. It's a familiar one to us, and it's a story that many of us probably could tell in our sleep because we've heard it 1,000 times. But this story is to grab our attention because in this story are some very significant aspects of what it is to be the church, what it is to walk as a disciple of Jesus. It gives us reference for our Lenten journey that we're all on right now as we look forward to the new life that awaits us on Easter morning and how we get there and what our road is. Firstly, we find that discipleship is knowing about where we go to be fed. It doesn't matter how hungry you are, we need to be shown where the food is. The woman in the story comes to this well looking for a precious resource, something that no person could survive without. She came looking for water. And there is one thing we all need in our earthly journeys more than anything else, one resource, and we know that that is water. But what we also know as disciples of Jesus is we need a spiritual source. We need a spring of living water, which quenches our thirst for the meaning of life, for why we are here, for what we are to do as human beings together. A quench of our thirst for the secret, if you will, to our existence, and for hope in the present and the future that is awaiting for us. We need that living water as followers of Jesus and as the church. That living water, that resource we need, we can bundle it up and say it's faith. Faith in Jesus, who meets us on our roads, the roads that we travel, offers us a cup of that living water, water which wells into life and which gives us life every day, and a life that does not run out. There is no other resource for living a full life which will see us through. And there is enough of that water to see us through. Enough of that living water. Years ago, there was a story about a woman who lived in one of the poor sections of New York City, and she had been there all her life. She had raised her family there. They had always lived in poverty and were stuck in the city all of their lives. And one day she was working for a program in her elder years, and they were taking a trip to the beach. And she had never been to the beach before. She had never seen the ocean. And she stood on the beach and she said, "Look at that water. For the first time in my life, I am able to actually see something that there is enough of." That is what we see in Jesus. There is enough living water for all of us. And we all need it, because there is no other resource that will see us through. Our discipleship with Jesus calls us to respond to what we have been given. We know we are taught from an early age to respond when we are given things. How many of us have been in the store and seen a little child get a cookie at the cookie counter? And what's mom or dad say? "What do you say? What do you say? What do you say?" We are taught to respond. We respond when we are given a gift. After we receive this living water which we have been given as the church, there is really only one response for us that is appropriate. And it's not just a thank you. And it's not a, "My, this is delicious water." And I hope it's not, "Look at me, I've been drinking from the well. Don't you wish you had some of this water too?" No, that's passive discipleship. Jesus puts verbs in his sentences. Go and make disciples. See, I am making things new again. Pray that you do not fall into temptation. Our discipleship is proactive. This woman at the well left the well. She went to find people. After Jesus identified himself to her, she did not say anything else. John tells us she left and went into the city, said to the people, "Come and see." And they left the city with her. She brought friends to them. She brought friends to Christ. We are called to respond to what God has given to us in Jesus by sharing the good news with others in some way. Mother Teresa wrote that words that do not give the light of Christ increase the darkness. In today's climate, we, the church, have a chance to do something that others can't. That governments, politicians, financial institutions, advertisers who tell us to trust them to make our lives better, things that they cannot do. We, the church, have an opportunity, even an obligation, to offer a picture of a better world, a new world, a world formed out of love, a new world that springs to life from the roots of selfless giving, from our abundance, our compassion for the lost and displaced, our care for the most vulnerable in our society. This is the light that shines in the darkness. This is the church's one response to the gift. And finally, in this story, we find the result of that mission we are on. Receiving the living water and responding to it by passing it around always produces something. Our mission as the people of God produces results. And when the woman at the well reached town, she told everybody about who she had met. John writes that many Samaritans from that city believed in him because of the woman's testimony. When you and I, who have received this living water, start passing the cup around, some amazing things begin to happen. No longer do other people just take our word that this is good water. They actually begin to discover on their own for themselves that this is a water that gives life, living water that wells up and produces new and eternal life. And so the Samaritan woman, the outsider, the one Jesus comes to on his way through the home, turns out in many ways to be you and me. And we are called to be her, the ones who Jesus has come to on his mission to this world, the ones ones who were giving living water and now must respond to that gift by sharing it and by giving life to others. That is why the church is here. That is why the Lord God has called us to be people who serve Him. As we celebrate this Celtic service today, we remember St. Patrick as we did on Friday. We remember the one who found the love of God in Jesus, who responded to that gift by the giving of himself to others, and by whose sharing of that love actually gave life to others. A life that we today find in this Celtic liturgy, in the spirituality that connects us all through God's creation to the one who is the giver of life to all. I'd like to leave you with this Irish blessing that says, "May your home always be too small to hold all of your friends." May our prayer and our hope be that by seeking out the love and life of Christ, our living water, by responding to the grace we have been given by our sharing of that same living water, that our homes may overflow and our friends may become like the stars, that all may be one at the table, where the well of living water never, ever will run dry. Amen.
Somebody